We have a mechanical issue.
All I hear is a pop and I'm pitched sideways. And the car has 17,000 miles on it. Failure is not just possible, it's inevitable. It's just a matter of when and how bad. You know, most people think of tires and brakes and consumables, but the reality of it is there are other wear items on your car that you don't think about that are definitely going to give you issues over time if you track your car enough. For example, I just replaced this on the car. This is the rear wheel bearing, okay? I bought 2 new fronts because I figure, hey, look, if the one rear went, I better have an extra rear for the other one, and I better have 2 extra ones for the front. Because, you know, these things, they get wear. They're getting hot, the fronts are getting exposed to huge temps with the front brakes, and the rears are getting, the rears are getting, experiencing huge loads because I've got almost 60% of the weight in the rear. Both of those things don't lead the long life for this is carrying a ton of load, right? I mean, if you figure it out, the car's 1,100 kilograms and over 600 of that is in the rear. So, you know, you've got 400 kilograms aside plus the weight shift plus the aero. So you might be running 600, 700 kilograms of force on this wheel bearing at any given point in time. That's a lot of force on a pretty small object, right? It's got to take that load. So, you know, failure is not just possible, it's inevitable. It's just a matter of when and how bad, right? It could really give and cause you all kinds of problems, or it could just start making noise as long as you're proactive. Now, in my case, this one was making noise and I attributed to road noise. I didn't realize until after I changed it how long it had been going on. There was some wheel bearing noise, and I wasn't able to differentiate that between the regular road noise in the car. But it was definitely making noise longer than I had thought. Once I changed it out, it felt like I was driving a Cadillac versus a sports car down the road. The front ones, I mean, probably the left rear will go next, and then the front ones I might just proactively change them out. I do the springs. I just changed out springs, so I'm going to go ahead and probably change them again because I think I'm a little bit I went too far in the front or not enough of the rear. I'm still trying to debate that out, so I need to figure out which ones I'm going to change next. But again, you know, even springs, if the springs aren't giving, that means that they're transmitting the forces somewhere else. One of the big consequences of making something faster, of course, is the increase of forces on components, and it leads to ultimate failure on some. So even though you might be strengthening some components, so for my car, for example, you know, I go ahead and I put super 200 treadwear tires. Okay, great, I'm getting a lot more grip. I've already upgraded ball joints. I've upgraded bushings to rigid bushings versus soft rubber. I've got stronger control arms in the back to handle deflection under braking. All of these things sound good. But remember, I'm still running the same tie rods or the same track rods, or in my case recently, I'm running the same hub carriers. This last weekend, for example, I'm going ahead and going into a slow left-hander going onto the straight, and all I hear is a pop and a pitch sideways. I had no idea what it was. Fortunately, I was able to catch the car. I wasn't going super fast. I was going about 60 miles an hour. Certainly wouldn't have been going into a high-speed corner. Went ahead and was able to get off track right there. There was an exit and motored down to the pits and take a look at it. Couldn't for the life of me find anything. At first, I thought maybe the eccentric bearing on the top had spun, and so I had lost camber, which is what happened. I lost camber, had tow out in the right rear. Turns out that my hub carrier had cracked. I had changed the track rods in the rear. I had changed out the control arms in the rear. I had changed out all for motorsports grade components. All of that, you know, along with the stickier rubber, had just put a lot more stress on the component that was carrying all that load, which was the hub carrier, which has the knuckle for the track rod. Anyway, I mean, it certainly wasn't a planned event. I check over the vehicle after every track day. I'm bolt checking, checking for loose items, which, believe it or not, I find things vibrate loose. In this case, though, I mean, unless you're going to take it all apart and physically check for cracks or float it and die, or I don't know what you can do with a cast aluminum part. The reality of it is that stuff's going to fail. Stuff breaks. That was the same side. I had just changed the hub bearing out, and the car has 17,000 miles on it. You wouldn't expect to have to change out a rear wheel bearing at 17,000 miles, but believe it or not, it's pretty common on a car that's mostly getting track use. So I mean, yeah, we think about oil changes more often. Okay, yeah, check. Brake fluid, you need high temp brake fluid. Brake pads are going to get worn, and tires are going to get worn. All those things are true, but other items as well, especially when you are increasing loads in the car, adding aero, adding speed, stick gear rubber, higher G's, running 1.8, I think peak was 1.7 G's the last track event. That's a lot. That's a lot of force being put on even a lightweight car. So yeah, just be prepared if you're going to get into this, that unless you're going to drive with the stock tires, you're changing the failure point from the tire losing grip to possibly something exceeding its load capacity. And I don't know where that is. It's different for every car, but it exists, and you need to play around it.
Thanks for watching the first episode of Garage Talk. If you liked it, or if you didn't like it, comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts.